dozen what was I saying? Half dozen one another. Is that the right saying? Half dozen one another? No. What is it?
Well, yeah, you got me confused. Dozen one or a half dozen of the other or something like that.
I don't know, but anyway,
Yeah.
everyone I buy. So hey guys.
The top of my head got on.
Well, I know, but I don't know what to do.
Raise it up. All
Low
my friends like to drive low riders.
My rocker husband. He's like, you got the top of my head cut off. Oh me. Hey guys.
Hey guys,
We
just
are
about went off the exit.
we're on our way on a trip. You'll see where we're going when we get there. That's where we ate the other night. Well, deep subject. I asked you the other day for some questions, and so we've got some. I've not really looked over them, so I don't have any prepared answers.
Okay.
So, and if it grows,
You're
if it
supposed to prepare it.
if it goes real long, we'll make this into 2 videos. So, but I do have a new holder that's here in the middle. So, and we'll just see how that goes. So, Sandra Harbin was the first one that said, will you come north on I-85 north of Charlotte and have lunch with us? Well, not this week. Not this week.
We know where I-85 is.
We do.
We've been on I-85 north.
We do, Sandra, so we're not above it.
And she said Charlotte,
Yeah, mm-hmm. Yeah.
North Carolina.
Yeah.
That's getting on up there around Asheville and all
Well,
that.
she said, I'll meet you right off the interstate around the Concord-Kannapolis exit.
I like it up that way now.
So that's fallish. That's a fallish trip. So,
We may connect in the fall.
yeah, yeah. I know that you have shared this story. This is from Jude's 121. I know that you shared the story, but how did you guys meet? When I started to work at the college, I was married. John was not. He was a single guy. And I went through a divorce. And we ended up taking a class together for our undergraduate degree. And Silly Boy was in the class. You were a silly boy back then. But anyway, we talked off and on for several months. A lot of on. He'd come in from dates and I'd call him just to talk to him. And then he come to see me. I'm not going to tell the really good version because he says he doesn't remember. But he came to our Easter program, was supposed to have brought a date. And she didn't get in from a business trip. And so we had talked about dating in the months that we'd been talking, but he said it would just ruin a good friendship. And we were from really different backgrounds, but then since we've been married,
Yeah, I'll see that.
he's from a heathenistic family. Not really. And though they are different, we're still so much alike, aren't we?
You say so.
Well, I think once he got
likes to take cheese.
once he got into my family, he's like, dang, we're not so bad after all the issues in my
Man, I
family.
look better.
Yeah,
Boy,
yeah.
we stepped up a notch.
So anyway, he didn't bring the date to the Easter program. And after the program was over with, the couple that he sat with, that was friends of mine, she knew I liked him. And so she's like, why don't we run out somewhere and get something to eat? And he said, yeah. I was like, okay. And so I rode with him out to get something to eat. I rode back with him because it was the area where he lived. And then we were just talking, and I said something the next week while we were talking about wanting a steak. And he said, well, I'll cook you a good steak. And I said, really? And he's like, yeah.
Is that you that said that?
You said it. I didn't cook steaks. And so he said, you want to go get a steak Friday night? And I was like, well, is this kind of like a date? And he said, yes. Although the better part of that story is when I stepped out to sing In the Presence of Jehovah, which is an awesome song. He said a light shone over my head, and he knew that I was the one. When I told this in the last time, he was like, I did? Really? I don't remember that. Do you remember it now?
You're saying so much, it's starting to come to life. I think you're talking it into existence.
Baby, you know I don't lie. You think I'm just... Let me just see if this brings back any memories. In the presence
I see it!
of Jehovah.
Sure, wasn't that curtain that caught on fire?
Hey, and just think about me like 70 pounds lighter, okay? Take about 70 pounds off there. God Almighty. Is it all coming back to you
It's
now?
coming back.
Okay, Jude.
They don't know about it. I said, was it that or the curtain on fire behind you?
Yeah, we did have a little fire that night in our program.
They had to evacuate the church.
We had to evacuate the church.
20 people got saved.
20 people got saved out in the parking lot.
That's what they said.
Yeah, they did. They felt hell's fire and they got saved out there.
Ran out of church, got saved.
Yeah.
Saved from the fire.
I told him I knocked down 5 little old women getting back there to where he was.
Oh, yeah.
I just remember our choir director going, "Get out!" I'd already sung my song though. I'd already made my impression. But
She
that's...
set the place on fire.
We were, John was the computer technician at the college, so I knew him. I used to see him dating the college students. And so there's just a lot to it, but it was God, because I never would have looked twice at a guy 6 years younger than me. And we really don't even know how it all happened. It just did. It was God. And so we're coming up this next weekend, our 23rd anniversary on the 29th. So I think it's work, don't you? All right. Donna Dover Spike, my friend from Oklahoma, your planner said it should be there tomorrow, or on Tuesday. I would love to know how both you and John get ready to study your Bible and your time with the Lord.
Confession.
Confession is good for the soul. John hates to read.
Yes. She's a studier.
I study and I tell him about it.
I'll get on a streak every now and then.
Well, I bought him the Prevail devotion, but I try to get him just to sit down at night. He hates to read.
And at one point at work, I went through the New Testament. I went through the Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, and then I got on. I did the wisdom chapters, Proverbs, and I done Psalms. I read all those books.
Since he's retired, he's just got to find his timing.
I was doing that in the morning. I'd get to work really early, and I would read a chapter every morning. I'd go so far in my Bible, and then, lo and behold, my friends figured out that I was there, and so they would call me. I had a couple friends that worked on another campus that when they'd get there, they'd call me, and so I'd end up talking, and then I kind of got out of the habit of reading, but they kind of...
And it's so hard because he hates to read anything, and so, but now your prayer time, tell me about your prayer time.
What about my prayer time? It's all the time.
I know, and I know that when you walk in the woods and when you walk in the yard that you pray. That's, because he'll walk into the woods and I know he's praying, and he'll walk around the yard and I know he's praying. So he's a praying man. But studying the Word is one of the biggest downfalls, and that's difficult when you don't like to read. But I really believe if he'd get into that devotional, he'll like it because it's starting in the Old Testament.
Yeah, she got me that devotional. I'm gonna start on it, but I got to get past a couple things, so I kind of got it.
It's called perfecting your discipline. That's what we learned in mentoring. You have to say, this is going to be my discipline. Because it's hard for us to discipline areas in our lives. It's been very hard for me because the mornings are so hard, but I am in that routine now. But you know that's the first thing I do when I get up.
Oh, yeah.
First thing I do is get in my chair, do my devotional and my prayer journal. It's because we're talking. Donna also said she'd love to know who led Ashley to the Lord. Ashley was always very conscientious. We had her in church from day one. We were in a Southern Gospel quartet from the time she was 2 to about the time she was 7 or 8. But when she was 6 years old, I prayed the sinner's prayer with her. She came into the living room and said, Mama, I need to be saved. And I told her all about it. And then we kept her in a very active youth group at our church. It was wonderful. The youth choir was wonderful. So she just growed and matured. And it just seems like the last couple of years I've really seen her blossom spiritually. I can tell that she just really, when she worships.
She's going to be teaching.
She's going to be teaching Vacation Bible School, I think, next week. So, and it's so funny because when counseling with friends and working with friends that are going through marital problems and stuff, I hear me coming out of her. So I don't know that she won't teach later down the road. She's a whole different personality than me. Characteristics are the same, but
yeah, she's more quiet like me.
Yeah.
Although she's got this awesome voice, but if she ain't singing, she's kind of quiet in church.
Yeah, where I'm like, I'm a dance and
and she talks about Mama Love. You know, I'm sure
I am not.
No. Just let me say something. They went somewhere the other day, and she went over and got with them policemen. Right? Am I telling the truth?
State troopers. I know what you're being tell on me.
We live in Cracker Barrel. There's this table of retired gentlemen. You can tell they're retired.
About 10 of them.
Yeah, look like they're fixing to go to the golf course or somewhere. Well, she had to stick her nose in and be nosy Suzanne. And
is that being nosy or is that being friendly?
I think it was nosy. You want to know what they were doing over there.
I did not. Did not ask them what they were doing.
What you asking me?
I said, I just want to know one thing. Can y'all verify that everything that's told here at this table is the truth? Because you know that was a liar's table. Because men love stuff like that. They just being friends. That's just me. That's my. That's no. Well, yeah, it is. But I'm not going to talk. I'm not going to talk as much as her. Okay, we got a lot of questions. Donna also said, if you could meet anyone on earth, who would it be and why?
For me?
Yeah. Oh, I know who you should say.
Well, you know I'm going with Carrie Underwood.
Carrie Underwood.
Oh, damn mercy.
I keep reminding him she's his daughter's age. Carrie Underwood. Yeah. All right. If I could meet anybody on earth, it used to would have been Billy Graham. Huh.
Now, in his prime, you would have been with KR.
Yeah, but he's dead.
In his prime.
Oh, in his prime, Kenny Rogers, I'd been all over him. Before the plastic surgery. Yes. That man, that silver fox, has always given me palpitations. Oh, yes, he had that black and...
But no, there's a country song.
Oh, no, he wasn't.
That was Charlie Reed.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about he just had that beautiful hair. Y'all are gonna, some of you are gonna hate this answer, but if I could meet a person that's presently living on this earth right now, I'd love to meet former President Donald Trump and talk to him. I'd like to tell him some things and help him out. Okay, let's see. Kathy Cox from Florida said, how are you and John liking retirement? Hey, it's a Monday and we're on our way on a trip.
I'm just telling you, I'm loving it.
Our gas bill has gone up tremendously, and every time I look, there's another purchase at an auto parts store. John is loving it.
Well, I worked all week in a shop this week, there was no gas ticket this week. My truck stayed at home this
week. It was
week.
the auto parts store this week.
Well, I swapped gas for parts.
So Hannah Oliver said, I have 2 questions. Do you and John get to go to the river house and get on the boat together? We have not put the new boat in the water yet. My nephew is just totally freaked out by that. He cannot believe that John has not put his new boat in the water.
But Hannah, we have been to the river house. You and I, by ourselves.
In January.
Yes.
And we're going back. I kind of backed off and let the guys do their fishing thing in the spring, but we're going to be going and taking the boys some.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, and are you still working on your book? Ooh. I just said the other day I got to get started back on it. After my brother died, I just laid it all down. But I will get back. So Joyce Taggart says, why can't you have a memorial for your brother? It might help her soul before she died. I had not even read that, and we just were at Cracker Barrel. She is having a hard time. She has said some really out of the way things the last few weeks to let us know that subconsciously that she has not. So John and I were just discussing just having a close family memorial and maybe even plant a tree in his memory or something.
But
we were just talking about that.
Yeah, I told her I thought it was a great idea, and that was before I guess you read this.
Oh yeah, I haven't read these.
But I think it's a great idea.
She needs closure as well as me and my brother need closure, but she definitely does at 94 years old, and I can tell that it's greatly affected her. She said, and Joyce also said, hey, did you realize you did a lesson when you talked about the things you've learned and how it's impacted your life? You're so full of the Spirit, my dear friend. Thank you, Joyce. I know I kept saying, I haven't done a lesson. And then I kind of did a lesson while I was sitting there talking. Anna, this is a prayer request, okay? Anna said, any Christian book recommendations to better our lives or that have been a blessing or life-changing for you? Several of you, just since I talked about the Prevail devotional, I got to tell Susie Larson that I'm having to sell her book. I haven't read a lot in the last few years, but there are a lot of good books. I just read a book by Marilyn Hickey, and it was good. I can't even remember the title. But I'm really into reading the Word more, but there's so many good books out there.
The book that Jamie wrote? What was it?
Well, it's a class, Yearning for Renewal.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that I can do that. I'm going to try to get with Jamie to see if I can do it on here. What is the key to a lasting marriage? Is it possible to love your spouse more after the years? What's the key to a lasting marriage? I know my number one thing. Truth and honesty.
And that's good. I go along with that.
Yeah. John and I don't lie to each other. We don't fudge on the truth with each other. We have nothing to hide from each other. I was in an area of my life where there was a lot of things to hide, a lot of untruths, and my biggest pet peeve is a liar and a thief. And really, if you're lying, you're a thief because you're stealing the truth from somebody.
But she didn't mind me stealing her heart.
No, babe, I didn't. You did steal it. You stole it before we ever started dating. I just knew John's character too. That was one of the things my mother was like, I can't believe you get married this soon. It was 2 years, but I knew John's character from him working at the college before I ever even knew him, and I knew that he was so highly respected among people at the college, and still is. So one of the funniest things she's passed away, and she admitted to me before she died that she was mean to me, former boss. And she was like the boss from HELL. She really put me through some spiritual warfare. And I remember the one time that I was meeting with her, and I said, people are telling John that you're wanting to get me fired. And when I brought him into the scenario, it was like, Katie, hold the door, because we done up this conversation. Who's been telling John stuff? That is not true. You tell John that's not true. She didn't say that's not true to me. She's like, you tell John that's not true. So that's the kind of respect he's had. So, but I think truth and honesty, and if you're walking in truth, ditto. Okay, so hope that answered your question, Anna. Lord, we're 20 minutes and I've only answered a few. Cat Mom kind of defended me on a somewhat negative comment, so thank you, Cat Mom. She said, I have a couple questions. Have either the two of you been on the news or on television for any reason?
I am.
Well, the only television I've been on is our church program was televised for a long time.
There might have been one incident, and I never saw it, but the television crews were out when we had our Bevel March up in the parking lot of it.
Oh, yeah, baby, that was so anticlimactic. No is the answer. No. She said, do you ever think you would do a Q&A with Ashley? Absolutely. Yeah, that's a great idea, Cat Mom. Thank you
Great
so
idea,
much.
Cat Mom. Get me out of the fire.
Look at that on the back of this car. It says, go to church, read the Bible, have faith in God. Ooh, they sold out. They're being light. I like that, man. Got a big one all across. All right. Sandy Smith said, I'm so new to the Bible, I'm so lost. How do you pray over the word, Suzanne? Well, I think it's important to pray the word. And Sandy, I will do another lesson on that. I think I have one, but that's a good topic. I'm going to write this down, how praying the word. The Bible says that his word will never return void, and that means it won't ever not work. And so when we pray the word, and it's what he's already said and confirmed, he is going to answer that. And, he will start leading you to the word. Sandy, you just stay with me, because I've not taught as much lately, but there's a whole playlist of lessons that will help you. And she goes on to say, yes, tell us the meaning of the verses, because I have a huge problem understanding what the verses mean. I understand that. And y'all have said you would love for me to do some teaching lessons, just sitting down, going verse by verse, and so I'm going to do that. All right. Barbara Parker, my friend that we had dinner with in Virginia, she ordered the Prevail devotional after I first talked about it. You actually did a lesson for us about detoxifying our lives. Here's some questions for your upcoming Q&A. What is your favorite brand of purses? Well, since I have a Louis Vuitton, that is Ashley's, not mine. I'm really enjoying the Louis Vuitton, but I'm really not big into brand names. And I know you love Louis Vuittons. And, but Ashley had one sitting in the closet that she wasn't using. I personally will never pay the price for a Louis Vuitton for myself. If I get it as a gift or something through the years, I could even think of more things I'd want than that. But since Ashley has an empty Louis Vuitton in her closet, I told her I was taking it home with me, and I've really enjoyed it. It's a really quality purse. But I can go to TJ Maxx and get a Jessica Simpson or something like that. I've got some Coach purses. Michael Kors. But I can also go to Walmart and get a purse. It doesn't matter.
She can go fake Coach.
You always have on the cutest outfits. Where do you buy most of your clothes? I buy a lot of my clothes at Cato's because they have a really good plus size. This little shirt just came from there. I think it's really cute. Cato's, Belk. Cato's and Belk, pretty much. Do I order anything? Sometimes I'll order something online. But I buy a lot of stuff at Cato's. That's just, and we have a boutique in one of our towns called Carol's. And they also sell online. Carol's Boutique in Jasper, Alabama. That's where I buy a lot of my stuff that I wear to church. And the thing is, it's like I told y'all lately, since I'm not working, I'm wearing stuff from 3 springs ago now because it's still great.
Is that where Jada works?
Yes.
Also.
Yes. Do you have a routine with your quiet time with the Lord? Yes. Every morning. Go straight to my chair. It took me a long time to get to that, but I'm there now, and the Lord is really helping me with that discipline and to be able to stay awake. Do you and John have a favorite place to vacation? Well, we love the beach with our kids. We do that every year.
Yeah. But I don't think we just love exploring new places.
Yeah, we love new places. We loved coming to Virginia, seeing you, and you telling us about the huge antique flea mall, the biggest one.
Oh, absolutely.
We want to go back there.
And we were talking about going to Maine while ago.
Yes, we want to go to Maine and Vermont, all those places. So we've just got a lot of places we're looking forward to now that we're retired. So we're going to do just a couple more, and then I'll probably split this in half. This is from Nancy Duffer, and she said, do you and John get to go to the river house and on the boat together? And are you still working on your book? Well, same things Hannah asked down below. We're going to be going more, and I'm going to pick back working on my book, just like
I made 4 fishing trips myself.
And I've got some footage that I'm going to put together, a fishing video for y'all just to see what all they do. So, Haley Thomason from Mitzi's on Maine and Blue Ridge. Now,
Right.
I guess going back to Barbara, Blue Ridge, Georgia would be one of our favorite places since we've been.
Yes,
It's close and it's awesome, and we love going shopping at Mitzi's on Maine. We love to shop for the house. So, but Haley said, "Hi, is the basement done?" Has John stayed home since he retired to help me with the basement?
Has she asked me to help her in the basement?
Oh, would you have stayed?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Since we get back, we'll be working on the basement, Haley. And how long have you?
We got started. I went and bought shelves.
Yeah.
Assembled all those shelves, put them in the room, cleaned that room out.
But then I had the surgery too later,
Yeah.
so that's what we were talking about, that we had stopped on it, but I had the surgery, and so that kind of put a halt on it. How long have you and John been together? We've been married 23 years, so we've been together 24 years. Because we dated 13 months before we got married. We wanted to give Ashley plenty of time to acclimate to us.
That is as fast as she could rush me into it.
Oh, please. Please. We're at 30 minutes. I'm going to stop right here and we'll come right back